guys, Dan back here with another video. Today we're going to be doing an oil change in the wagon. Now that is an M54B30 engine, but the process is exactly the same for the M50, S50, M52 and S52, and of course M54 and S54 family engines. So let's get started. I took a quick trip to my AutoZone where they had my Castrol 10W40 partially synthetic motor oil. That's what I use in my wagon. For this project, you're going to need a 36mm socket, ratchet, 17mm wrench and or 17mm socket, your oil filter, some gloves, and of course your new oil. Open up your hood to reveal your engine bay. Inside, there'll be the oil filter housing, where I use that 36mm socket to take it off. In this instance, I leave the oil filter cracked just like this. It lets the dirty oil work its way down to the pan, while the oil filter sits up and drains in there. I then jacked up my car on both sides and got it to the point looking like this with a jack stand. It's also not a bad idea to chalk the rear wheels with some large wooden blocks or bricks. Underneath the car, I got my oil catch pan and then loosened up my oil plug nut and then let it drain out just like that. On the plug, there's a copper crush washer that with the new oil filter should come the replacement. Just put that on. It's also not a bad idea to just check other things like your tire pressure, your brakes, and other condition of suspension parts. Up top now, we'll replace the oil filter while that drains. So slowly pull that out to not spill oil everywhere. And then take it out and discard of the oil filter properly. It pulls right off of the housing just like that. Take your new filter and squeeze it on. It clicks in place. Like that. Then you replace the O-ring that goes around the outside of the oil filter housing. You're going to need a pick to pull it off or a flathead screwdriver. Be careful not to damage the new oil filter. Install the new oil filter and you want to tighten it down to the point where it bottoms out. You don't need to go crazy tight on these. Down below, let's reinstall the oil plug nut. You don't need to go crazy tight on these because the crush washer will take up the tolerance between the bolt and the pan. Now let's refill the oil. I personally use 10W40, but you may use something different. Check the video description below for oil filter and quantity designations. Now check the dipstick. You want to pull the dipstick out, wipe it off, and then reinsert it. Now pull it back out and look at the stick. The top notch here indicates the full quantity. The bottom notch indicates the low quantity. You of course want to be on the full quantity. Then check other things like your coolant, your power steering level, and your air filter. It's always good to look at them. And then take your car off jack stands and start her up.